following is a presentation of the NTRA in association with ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
He was the unlikely winner of last year's $4 million Breeders' Cup Classic.
It's going to be a huge upset. 40-1 on the wire. Volpone scores in the Classic.
Volpone's 77-year-old trainer, Phil Johnson, got his first ever Breeders' Cup win, and his 41-year-old jockey Jose Santos returned to prominence. Volpone's win did all that, and dashed the hopes of those in the Classic who had designs on Horse of the Year. One of those was trainer Bobby Frankel's Medalla de Oro, who ran second to Volpone in the Classic after winning the Travers here at Saratoga. Today, here at America's oldest racetrack, Frankel will finally get the chance to exact his revenge as Volpone and Medalla de Oro meet for the first time this year on the road back to the World Thoroughbred Championships. It's one of the summer's classic battles, the 76 star-studded renewal of the $750,000 Whitney Handicap.
To the World Thoroughbred Championships, powered by Dodge.
Welcome, sports fans. Saratoga Racecourse, Saratoga Springs, New York. The weather's warm. The track is fast. Just upgraded to fast within the last half hour. It had rained heavily on Friday and overnight. Some concern about that, but it's all good now as we go forward. 2 live races here from Saratoga. The Whitney at $750,000. The Amsterdam, a good sprint at $150,000. And to go over the pond for the Sussex Stakes on grass. Randy Moss with me as usual for this. Winning a race here at Saratoga is a big deal all by itself, especially races of this magnitude, but it's also a stepping stone towards something else.
Well, for the Whitney horses, the pot at the end of the rainbow, the pot of gold, literally, the Breeders' Cup Classic coming up in late October. And when most people think of classic division horses, they think of 4-year-olds like Medalla de Oro, 5-year-olds like Volpone. But once you get past the Triple Crown races, the 3-year-olds technically, officially become part of that classic division. So we'll be able to see Medalla de Oro, Volpone today. Tomorrow you can tune in and see the Haskell and the Jim Dandy and see Funny Side and Empire Maker and compare them before the 3-year-olds actually get a chance to run against the older horses later in the year.
They all start to merge. We'll see how it plays out on the track right now. Here's how it plays out by those 6 experts, the men who wear white wigs and pound gavels and assign weights, in the order of those they think are strongest in the classic division. Moon Ballad is the leader, the weight being the notation there for who's the best. And then a lot of 3-year-olds involved. Empire Maker, Funny Sides out there, Peace Rules, 10 Most Wanted. So you see already they're highly regarded around the world.
Moon Ballad's the horse that won the Dubai World Cup, but the Empire Maker and Funny Side, you know, always one of the most interesting things of the year when the 3-year-olds run against the older horses to see if they can hold their own. And certainly those handicappers think that they are equal, at least to Medalla de Oro and Mindshot.
We've alluded to huge racing going on here today at Saratoga and tomorrow, both Saratoga and Monmouth. One of those heavily involved both days is with Kenny Rice.
Thanks, Kenny. I'm here on the lawn just outside the jockey quarters at Saratoga. The fans can actually go by and take a look at their favorite jockeys throughout the day. No one knows more about this big doubleheader weekend on ESPN than Jose Santos. You're riding today, of course, Volpone, and tomorrow you'll be riding in the Haskell aboard Funny Side. It's nice to be wanted right now, isn't it, and have that kind of big race event going on for the weekend?
No, definitely. It's going to be a big weekend for me, and like you say, we have Volpone today and Funny Side tomorrow. Definitely, it's a big day today and tomorrow, and we have a lot of horses to ride, and I'm very happy the way things going right now. You know, I'm being very popular now, back again, and been riding horses with a lot of more shots, and that's the whole thing, you know, when my agent is booking horses with better shot and winning some races. So.
Well, you had your comeback, I guess you will, or your revitalization last year in the Breeders' Cup Classic aboard Volpone, and now you ride him today here in the Whitney. I guess he's been a special horse in your career.
Oh, definitely. Volpone, he bring me back to the map. I mean, he went last year and win the Breeders' Cup Classic, and nobody expecting. And but we have a lot of confidence. They're trying to, P. Johnson and I, we have a lot of confidence. The horse was going to run very good race, but we never expected he was going to win by 6 3/4 lengths. But The horse been running 3 times this year, been second three times. But I think this horse is a better fall horse. You know, after September, he's performing a lot better.
He'll be running around 2 turns for the first time since he won the Breeders' Cup Classic. That also would appear to be more to his liking.
Yeah, definitely. He's a better horse going 2 turns. He relaxes more, and I think he have a better kick when he going 2 turns. So today the Whitney is a man in 8, and he's going again Medalla de Oro. So, you know, it's going to be a good race. Today you're going to see the best.
Funny side tomorrow. The 3-year-old, of course, who won 2/3 of the Triple Crown, his first race since the Belmont. How's he been doing as he gets ready to run the Haskell tomorrow?
He's been galloping more relaxed. He's been working more relaxed, and he's doing real good. We have a lot of faith, and he's going to run a big race tomorrow. He already beat most of the horses they're running tomorrow. And he never run again Sky Mesa, but I think Funny Side, he's 100% ready, and he's have a good trainer, and I think he's going to run a good race. He's going to be just about ready to come back over here for the Travers and run a better race.
Good luck to you, Jose.
Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you, Jose Santos, with a big weekend ahead of him, and 2 horses certainly being pointed on the road towards the World Thoroughbred Championships. Kenny?
All right, if you haven't already done so, go out and purchase a television set. Sign up for cable, because 5 o'clock Eastern on Sunday, ESPN2, Funny Side, racing in the Haskell Invitational. And within that very same show, just a bit earlier, the Jim Dandy here from Saratoga, Empire Maker, involved in that. So those are 3-year-olds going long distance. Right up next here, we got 3-year-olds going a short distance. 6 furlongs, the 11th running of the Amsterdam here. It's a grade 2.
Yeah, grade 2 race, a big race on its own. A prep race for the King's Bishop, a grade 1 at 7 furlongs. It's coming up the same day as the Travers Stakes later in the meeting. And we've got some nice horses, some horses whose names you'll recognize in this field.
Yeah, the fans, the players are very high on Posse, the 2-horse, and even money choice right now, far and away, getting most of the attention there. Posse been running out of his mind here on the sprint races.
But look at Scrimshaw. There's a horse that the only horse other than Funny Side to compete in the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont this year. Zavata, one of the top 2-year-olds from last year. Great Notion ran in the Bluegrass Stakes. Trust in Luck, a horse that, of course, we saw earlier in the year win the Fountain of Youth, run second to Empire Maker in the Florida Derby, and Alan Jerkins has a horse in there called First Blush. It's a good race.
Posse's most recent was on Belmont Day in the Slot River Ridge, a grade 2, and against very highly regarded Midas Eyes in that. Posse here was 3-1.
And Midas Eyes had just stomped Posse by almost 10 lengths in the swale at Gulfstream Park, and then Posse came back and ran Midas Eyes down and ran a huge race. And you can see, obviously, this was on a sloppy racetrack, but Posse, even though he handles the mud well, has been just as effective on a dry track like today, so he doesn't necessarily have to have a wet track with him.
Posse still getting huge support. The even money favorite right now, carrying 123 pounds, as they get very close now, a couple of minutes away from the 11th running of the Amsterdam.
And there's Posse with jockey Corey Lannery. If the Silks look familiar, they should. Owner Bill Heiligbro won last week's test stakes, as did trainer Steve Asmussen, with Lady Tack, Posse's stablemate. So a chance for that stable to have some real back-to-back success here.
Scrimshaw, as you said, the only other one to be in all 3 and hasn't raced since the Belmont. Scrimshaw kind of had its breakthrough at Keeneland. Remember when it won the Lexington by 3 lengths as a 6-1 horse. That qualified him at the last minute to get into the Triple Crown Series. The trainer Dwayne Lucas said, let's go forward with it. Now we got one. Bob and Beverly Lewis involved in that as well.
Lucas second-guessing himself yesterday morning for running Scrimshaw in the Belmont, and I guess that's natural since Scrimshaw lost that race by 30 lengths and finished last. Since then, he decided, since he ran in all 3 races, plus the Lexington 2 weeks before the Derby, he needed a break. So he turned him out for a month, gave him that month off, and he's just in the process now of bringing him back. Hasn't run since the Belmont. So Wayne says he may not be quite 100% for this race, but he is pondering the idea of turning Scrimshaw into a sprinter like he did Orientate last year and like he did with Gulch, the sire of Scrimshaw, who won the Breeders' Cup Sprint and became champion sprinter.
A minute before post, we go to Zavata. This is Patrick Biancone, the trainer on this one. Zavata was very highly regarded as a 2-year-old, racing in the Hopeful, the Saratoga Special, won the Saratoga Special at grade 2. Got to the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, didn't even finish the race. Has come back now in 2003, just won. It was an optional claiming, didn't enter for the claim, but it was much less regarded race, but did win in that and started to climb back again, where maybe they have this one in a position to try to do something today.
There's his trainer, Patrick Biancone. Looks a little nervous.
Let's go up to Tom Durkin right now. He has a note on another who might be involved here.
Yes, and he's walking into the gate right now, waiting for Trust and Luck and Superfuse. Keep an eye on Trust and Luck. There he is. He got really lathered up. A little hot here at Saratoga today, but he's had a history of being pretty bad coming out of the starting gate. And if he's bad coming out of there today, sprinting at this distance, it's not going to be a positive sign. So keep your eye on number 6, Trust and Luck, at the start. They're in the gate. And they're off. Trust and Luck breaks sharply for that lead. First blushes in between horses. There goes Zapata. And Scrimshaw got off to a good start, and he's now third toward the inside. Trust and Luck short leads Zapata to his inside. And Great Notion now moves up to be third. And Scrimshaw close to the pace fourth. Posse is fifth in between horses. He's about 5 lengths from the lead. Superfuse is just outside him. And First Blush. As they hit the far turn, Trust and Luck tussles here with Zapata. They rip through a quarter in 22 seconds flat. Great Notion third. First Blush is fourth. And moving on the outside, Scrimshaw is now fifth toward the rail, followed by Superfuse. And Posse is the last of them all. Posse now trying to weave his way through in between horses. He's only about 4 lengths from the lead as the field turns for home. Trust and Luck, Zapata really going at it here, head to head. Zapata's got a little something more. Zapata kicks in and shakes loose from Trust and Luck. Posse coming with his late run on the outside. Great Notion there too. They're coming down to the final 100 yards, and it's going to be Zapata. And he was sharp today. Zapata wins by 5 emphatic lengths. Great Notion was second, Trust and Luck was third, and Posse was fourth. The final time here was 1:08 3/5 seconds. Patrick Biancone very happy about this result. Zapata loves Saratoga, and he proved it again today.
1:08 3. There's Patrick Biancone coming down. Jerry Bailey, by the way, the jockey in that one for Jerry Bailey. That's his 4th win on the card. And Zapata, one that people had started to dismiss after that terrible Breeders' Cup Juvenile. And then you see it hiding for a while, not doing anything. Now, obviously, quite in good form once again.
They sent him a few weeks ago to Monmouth down on the Jersey Shore for a confidence builder in that race we were talking about earlier. He went 1:08 4 in that race and comes back at 1:08 3 today. This horse is obviously back all the way, and there was some bad karma actually earlier today for Patrick Biancone because Zapata's stablemate, another good 2-year-old last year, Why, ran in a race earlier on the card and actually turned into a pretty poor performance. So it made you kind of wonder how ready Zapata was going to be. But obviously, no concerns there.
Trust and Luck. Tom Durkin was describing sometimes trouble there, but got out very quickly. Zapata was chasing him right to the inside when they came for him. Those two were still together midway in the stretch, but Zapata actually had quite a lot more to go, and Trust and Luck falling off with the others closing.
Jerry Bailey regaining the mount on Zapata. Of course, he rode him last year in the Tremont at Belmont, which was a win. He rode him here in the Saratoga Special. He finished third on him in the Hopeful. I don't think we can have a race here on ESPN or ESPN2 without Jerry Bailey winning it now. I think that's a prerequisite. What do you think?
He's done quite well. Tony Farina had been riding that one the last couple. The jockey from France, that good friend of Patrick Biancone. But Zapata and Jerry Bailey at 3-1 have won the 11th running of the Amsterdam here at Saratoga. Going to come back, make this race official. Start looking forward to a couple of other races. One from England, one from Saratoga. Stay around.
The road to the World Thoroughbred Championships. Powered by Dodge. This ESPN2 presentation of the Whitney Handicap is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. By Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. By Citgo, we know you. By Budweiser, the best things in life are the things that are true. Budweiser. By Long John Silver's new buckets of crunchy shrimp.
Zapata actually trains on crunchy buckets of shrimp. There's with Jerry Bailey. Nice little race here, winning easy with Jerry Bailey getting his 4th win of the day. And if you want to be an owner like Michael Tabor and have top races like that, then go to thegreatestgame.com and find out more about how to become a major horse race owner. The results now are official. Zavata paying $8.30 up front. Nice little race for Great Notion, Randy, to get up there for second. Great Notion's last run was in the Bluegrass way back in April. 9th last, 51 lengths behind Peace Rules.
Jerry Bailey actually picking up the mount on Zavata late. He was supposed to ride a horse called Mount Carson in this race, who got sick and didn't enter, so Bailey winds up on Zavata. Look what happens.
Kenny Rice is ready to talk about this race some more. Kenny?
Thanks, Kenny. I'm with winning jockey Jerry Bailey and winning trainer Patrick Biancone. Jerry, you're back aboard Zavata. It worked out well for you today to get that ride.
Patrick gave me a lot of confidence in this horse. He knew he was very, very good. He was concerned about the track condition early because he was a little sloppy, but it got fast, and he ran just exactly like he told me he would.
That looked a little bit like the old Zavata that made a lot of noise here last year, winning the Saratoga Special, and was the buzz of the 2-year-old seen in August.
Yeah, he always had a lot of potential, and he did some good things, but I think he's going to reach more of a potential this year.
Here we come in the stretch now as we see you in action.
Well, he had a powerful, I mean, he puts himself always in a good spot, and he's got a certain run to him, and it's about as powerful as you can get. I mean, and today it was more powerful than anybody else, that's for sure.
It looked like for a moment you might be caught. Did you ever have any feeling at all that you were as you were turning to the quarter pole?
I mean, they might have closed some ground, but he never emptied out. He continued his run all the way to the wire, so, I mean, I wasn't very worried.
Congratulations again, Jerry.
Thank you.
Jerry Bailey, the winning jockey, Patrick Biancone, the winning trainer. Last year, we just mentioned about what a great 2-year-old he was and all the stir he caused here at Saratoga. You've never given up on him throughout it all, have you?
You know, at the end of this 2-year-old, he had a little injury, and we have baby him, and we have decided, we know he'll be only a sprinter, and we have decided Michael Tabor and Demi Auburn to keep him for aiming for the Breeders' Cup Sprint, and we make a cross on the first part of the season, hoping to bring him back here. And he had a little bad step when he come back because the track was sloppy, and he hated that. But the other day in Mahmoud Park, Tony Farina gave him a very beautiful ride and confidence ride. And today Jerry finished the job. I mean, we're all happy. It's a teamwork.
What's next for him? You have any plans right now after this impressive showing?
Next, he go back home. I'm going to drink some champagne, and after we decide, we see.
I think there'll be a lot of it flowing here, as there usually are on Saturday nights at Saratoga. Patrick Biancone, congratulations, the winning trainer of Zavata. Kenny?
Yes, Patrick always drinks champagne before making any decisions with his thoroughbred. Zavata, the winner here in the Amsterdam, the big disappointment. Posse, the 1-to-1 favorite, finishing 4th. Scrimshaw got to mention early, but backs up to be 6th in this race.
There was some concern about Posse from Steve Asmussen about the 6-furlong distance. The race we saw where he caught Midas Eyes was at 7 furlongs, but he's still on course, I would guess, for the King's Bishop in 3 weeks.
Which is at 7 furlongs.
7 furlongs.
We got horse racing from all over the world going to Europe next when we come back, and then back to Saratoga. There's Jerry Bailey. He's used to that. He's done it now 4 times today.
The road to the World Thoroughbred Championships. Powered by Dodge.
Oh, Randy Moss working another 7-day week. Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern, ESPN2. You're going to see Long John Silver's Wire to Wire, recapping what happened here and there, and looking forward to next week as usual. All right, we've talked a lot about animals running on dirt. And in fact, we talked about Moon Ballad, who's the top horse for the Classic, but yet we saw him this past week in England going on grass. What's up with that?
Well, he's based in Europe with the rest of the Godolphin outfit, and even though he's run one of the best races on dirt of any horse in the world this year, and even though he's pointing for the Breeders' Cup Classic, his prep races over there right now are all coming on the grass. They haven't given up on him yet on the grass, but clearly he's not as good. The race he ran in was Wednesday at Goodwood, a race called the Sussex Stakes, a Group 1 over there. Rock of Gibraltar won it last year. Giants Causeway won it in 2000, so it's had some good horses over the years.
A lot of horses have won it because it's been going since 1878. It's a Group 1, of course. In fact, I like to label it a Class A.
And we talked about the 3-year-olds competing against the older horses later this year in the U.S. Well, 5 of them ran in the Sussex against older horses, including some ones that were favored. You see Moon Ballad got a lot of support there at 5-2. But a 3-year-old Trade Fair was actually the favorite at 2-1, and Statue of Liberty, a Coolmore horse trained by Aidan O'Brien, also a 3-year-old, at 6-1, a 1-mile race.
Running the wrong way. Here's the call, interestingly enough, in English.
And racing. Good even break 2, Eventuale down near the inside, one of the first away, with Spartacus going very fast early. Out deeper on the track then is Blatant, who's up there with a white cap. Just being dropping in behind Blayton is the stablemate. That's Moon Ballad early, followed then by Zafine and Trade Fair, the pink cap in centre field. Norse Dancers out the back in company there with Statue of Liberty as they go through the first 2 furlongs, and Real Buddy is last. On settling down though, and on the inside it's Spartacus. Out deeper on the track is Blayton with the white cap. Moon Ballad in behind them, just inclined to race a little bit fiercely on the outside of Zafine. 2 or 3 away then is Trade Fair, nicely settled in centre field. Then Eventuale, followed then by Norse Dancer. Out the back is Statue of Liberty, and last is Real Buddy. Racing down to the entrance to the home straight. Blayton wide off the track is the leader from Spartacus the far side. Moon Ballad's coming up the centre, then Zafine with a white cap, striped sleeves in the centre as well. Followed next in the field by Eventuale, and then Norse Dancer as they race up with 2 furlongs left to travel in the Sussex. Blayton with a white cap, just the leader. Here's Zafine, Trade Fair and Norse Dancer. Moon Ballad coming right up the centre now, almost a line of 5. Then Statue of Liberty, a furlong and a half to go in the Sussex Stakes. And on the inside, Zafine tackled by Trade Fair, Norse Dancer. Moon Ballad out wider. Switch to the inside as Real Buddy flying home from Statue of Liberty. A half furlong to go. Norse Dancer on the outside gets his nose in front of Zafine. Here's Real Buddy and Statue of Liberty flying. They're stretched across the track. Real Buddy getting through, and Real Buddy might have just got there. It's a photo though from in the centre, Statue of Liberty and Norse Dancer out wide. Then Zafine from Moon Ballad. What a finish.
A group picture. You know, you don't actually see jockeys come out and applaud the winner too often, do you?
Well, 51-year-old jockey Pat Ettery got the winning ride there, and Pat has announced his retirement at the end of this year. He's an 11-time English riding champion. They wondered whether he would ever win another Group 1 race, and so it was a fine moment there.
And you see the payoffs there across the pond. 2nd and 3rd are treated as place, correct?
First, 2nd, and 3rd, all if you finish on the board 1, 2, 3, you're said to have placed. And so that's why you don't see a show payoff here like you would in America. The first 2 finishers both bred in America, incidentally.
Nothing for Moon Ballad. 5th, though, he didn't exactly embarrass himself. Just about a length out of the win. We're coming right back from Saratoga. American races among the pretty trees up here at Saratoga. That's the paddock area. We're going forward. The Whitneys coming up real soon. Stay around. Horses are in the paddock for the Whitney. So is Mary Lou Whitney. She threw a big party tonight, and then the celebration continued. Big party last night, I should say, but she continues it this afternoon. You know, she has Birdtown. The half-brother to Birdtown ran in the 4th race. Unraced 2-year-old Bird Stone, and he cleared the field.
Son of Grindstone in his career debut, won by 12.5 lengths, 6 furlongs in 110.13. An awesome performance. Even more awesome since trainer Nick Zito hardly ever wins with the first-time starter. 3% was his record with first-timers in the racing form, and yet this one runs out of the TV.
Well, now it gets to the race named for Mary Lou Whitney's late husband's family, the Whitney. This is the 76th running, $750,000, and we're going to meet the field right now. First is Puzzlement. Jorge Chavez up. Just one allowance. That was at Saratoga, a year between wins.
He won 9 days ago here on an off track, and there you see that race, won by 2 1/4 lengths, and he rallies from well back in the pack.
Sarlin, another one who likes to make a big run. Won just 1 stakes race in his life. That was as a 2-year-old. John Velasquez up.
Owned and bred by Cynthia Phipps, whose father, Ogden Phipps, won this race twice, and her grandmother won the Whitney also. Sarland is trained by Shook McGahee.
Northern Rock racing in the Middle East and in Europe before coming to America. 1 for 2 in the U.S. Richard Migliore is the rider.
Trainer Kieran McLaughlin has been red hot. Northern Rock expected to go to the lead. That's the only chance he's got to win. The question is how long you'll be able to stay there.
Evening attire just barely in this race, Randy.
Yeah, trainer Pat Kelly, as late as noon, was pondering whether to scratch evening attire. He wanted the track to be more wet, just like it was on that day when he won at Saratoga 9 days ago. But unfortunately for him, the track has dried out to fast condition right now.
He's raced 5 times at Saratoga, won 3 of them. The big favorite, Medalla d'Oro. 2 for 2 in 2003. Jerry Bailey's the jockey.
There's Jerry Bailey again, and there's Medalla d'Oro's last race in the Oaklawn Handicap at April the 5th. But he's been training very well. Frankel says he's 100% fitness, no issue.
Vol Pony won, of course, last year's Breeders' Cup Classic, 43-1. He's had 3 second-place finishes in 2003.
That last second-place finish was a good one. It was a second to a horse called Mineshaft, who might be the best horse in America right now. So Vol Pony is in form, and Medalla d'Oro is going to have to be at his best.
Proud Citizen injured last year, kind of still running with the effects of that, but just got to win.
He still races with 7 screws in his knee, but he is sound, according to Lucas, and he comes off a 4.5 length win at Churchill Downs in an allowance race. Edgar Prado up.
Check out what the players think of the field. We just described late money just recently has been coming in on the 5. Actually, you don't see him right there. We'll get to him in just a minute. First, the first page, evening attire. Randy, you like this one a lot, even with the track drying out?
I liked him better with the track wet. I think that may be overrated a little bit. I mean, he has run well on an off track, but he also has some good wins on a fast track. He likes 2 turns. He likes Saratoga. He might be the biggest threat to Medaglia d'Oro here, along with Volponi.
Medaglia d'Oro now getting the support. 1-1 on our board. Latest click is down to 4-5. Harlan's Holiday was a scratch. Volponi's at 3-1. They're coming onto the track right now.
I guess if you've been watching any of our telecasts recently, we don't have to tell you that trainer Bobby Frankel is he's on a record-breaking pace. He just absolutely is winning everything in sight.
He's having a good career, period.
Yeah. So it's no surprise that there's Medaglia d'Oro with that. Frankel's horse and Jerry Bailey in the saddle is going to be such a heavy favorite here at Saratoga. Week after week after week. He's won 15 Grade 1 races already this year, Frankel has.
Edmund Gann, the owner on that one there. Do you see Medaglia d'Oro with that long layoff impacting it? Because he's had other layoffs. You go back in the form, there's a month here, 3 months there, and then it still does well. So big deal, 4 months, April.
That's totally what I think. Some of the other trainers in this race have mentioned that they think that he may be vulnerable in this race because of the layoff. You look at his form. He was off 2 months before the Jim Dandy last year. He won it by 13, almost 14 lengths. He was off 3 months before the Strube Stakes earlier this year. He won that one by 7. So what's the big deal about a 4-month layoff?
And he's trying to go Jim Dandy, followed by the Travers, followed by this race, the Whitney. No one else has ever had that same kind of sweep. Right now we got Kenny Rice down in the paddock.
With me is Wayne Lucas, who has Proud Citizen in this race. Proud Citizen perhaps on a bit of a comeback, had a big effort, winning at 7.5 furlongs his last race at Churchill Downs. I guess the kind of effort you had to see to bring him here to the Whitney, Wayne.
Well, we wanted to see some progress. You know, it's been a rough spring. We didn't take the easy route with him, as you know. We're in the, the Metropolitan Mile, and some of those races are very difficult. And it's never easy at Saratoga either.
As far as coming into this race now, do you have a good feeling about the way things are going? I know you had high expectations for Proud Citizen prior to the start of this race season. Is this almost like a must race for him and what he has to do?
I don't think, Ken, it's a must race, but I think we're in better shape now. I think this is the first time I've led him over there where I felt comfortable that we probably got him tight enough and that he'd be competitive. If you look back at the 3-year-old year with these horses and the ones that are 3, he was as good as any of them. Virtue is second place finish in the Kentucky Derby. We needed to get him back to that form. Hopefully it'll show up today.
Well, he had that big allowance race, and it was one where he was tested coming around the turn at Churchill Downs. Really is about the 3/8 before it began to pull loose, so at least he got a good workout in that race himself.
Well, I think that was the confidence builder and the tight one that we needed. I thought Pat rode a really very, very heady race on him, and that he didn't abuse him and use him hard. We were looking at this all along, and so we needed that one to get to this level.
Good luck to you, Wayne.
Thank you. It's going to be a tough one.
All right, Wayne Lucas, whose plaque is just across the street here in the Hall of Fame Museum, National Racing Hall of Fame Museum, and he has a horse that is red hot in terms of workouts. 4 straight bullet workouts for Proud Citizen last year, 2nd in the Derby, 3rd in the Preakness. Kenny.
All right, Randy, with Volponi, a lot of folks thought Volponi was just almost like a freak incident, total fluke that it had won at 43-1 back last year at Arlington, the Breeders' Cup Classic. But this year has been very consistent, just hasn't won, but been right in all those races, second place.
If you look at speed figures in the racing form, like a lot of handicappers do, his 2nd place finish in the Suburban last out was only a couple of lengths slower than his Breeders' Cup Classic form. So it's not like Volponi has been running poorly, and the blinkers are a key with him as well. They put the blinkers back on last time for the Suburban, and you saw a several length improvement, and the 2 turns at Saratoga I think will help him here as well.
Who knows what this means, because you can play with statistics all sorts of ways, but those long shot classic winners, we know that 10-1 or higher. Here's what they've done going forward. Volponi so far 0 for 3, but as we just stipulated, been close. Cat Thief was 0 for 10. Arcong, who cares? It was like 200-1, so that was enough. He really didn't need to anymore.
And there was another horse over 10-1, Alphabet Soup, but he didn't run again, so he doesn't really fit on this list. But every horse has to be treated differently, but as you can see there, it does make an interesting statistic. And Volponi trying to become the first of these horses to come back and win a Grade 1.
All right, right now the players are supporting Sarland at 6-1, the 2-horse with John Velazquez involved on this one. Sarland is one who I think I spit out a little bit earlier, not correctly.